Sorry, I'm a little homilied out. I need to read this one. We have a lot of days honoring Mary throughout our liturgical year. And now, at the cusp of a new year, we celebrate her as Holy Mother of God. And what's interesting is that we hear about her in the gospel reading, but she's not really the center of attention, like some other readings. Mary had just given birth, and her and Joseph are probably resting as Jesus lies in the manger. So we're told where they are, but very little else. The bulk of the activity in this gospel reading is being done by the shepherds. In the verses right before this reading, by the way, started chapter 2, verse 16, the angels sang the Gloria, the first Gloria, to the shepherds in the fields. And now, as we heard in the gospel, the shepherds run over to Bethlehem and tell Mary and Joseph all they had heard and seen. So this story is about the shepherds, their enthusiasm, and their proclamation that the baby Jesus is in fact the Savior born unto them. And throughout it all, Mary sat and reflected these words in her heart. She never even saw or heard the angels. She got her angel message a whole chapter ago for us, 9 months ago for her. So why this reading for a Marian feast day? What's the big deal about Mary here? Well, it comes down to the fact that Mary is the wise one in this reading. When we read about her reflecting or pondering these words in her heart, that means more than just listening. The Greek word that we translate as reflect or ponder also means to discuss, to compare, or to debate. So that means that Mary was processing all this information in her head. We might say she was lost in thought. So much of Mary in the Bible is her reacting to things in the moment. Think of the angel Gabriel visiting her. Think of the flight to Egypt with Joseph and Jesus. Think of her following Jesus during his trial and crucifixion. Mary doesn't get much time to think in the Bible, but here she reflects and ponders these things in her heart. And we all possess a faith-seeking understanding. We don't talk about faith as if it's something you get once and then never deal with again. We don't talk about faith as if it's immune to change or growth, as we change and grow as individuals and as a people. Whatever faith is, we can't control it, we can't master it. I can say that because plenty of people try. But we can understand it better somehow. We can let our experience of the world add to our faith and our relationship to God. We are meant to do that. It is faith seeking understanding. And it's something that even Mary did, right here in Luke chapter 2. And this is yet another way that Mary is our mother. She offers up the image of a thoughtful and reasoned parent. And we're all meant to be like that to a greater or lesser extent. We need time by ourselves to think and reflect on the day, and we're not very good at that in this country in general. Some of us enjoy the occasional meal by ourselves without TV or music. Some pray before bed, which I highly recommend. And still others take regular retreats every few months to emotionally rest and recuperate. I fully believe that we would be a happier people if we generally gave ourselves more reflection time in life. Because it's a basic spiritual need. It's a need that all of us have. Quiet time, alone with God and your thoughts. And I can give you an idea of how universal this need is. You know, we can talk about the siesta for South America, you know, the afternoon nap. I'm fully aware of the African version, which is called un petit repos, which is a little sleep, which is funny because it's like 3 hours. It's from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's too hot to do any work. But instead of that and going into depth, I want to share with you just a little bit of Japanese culture, the ofuro, or bath. The bathroom would be ofuro ba. See, there isn't a ton of space in Japan. You can be around other people for a long, long time. But the human need for quiet time and alone time is still present. And the way the Japanese reconcile those two facts is the bath. Practically everyone has access to a small bathtub just big enough for one person. And these tubs keep the water hot as efficiently as possible, and they're not used for cleaning purposes. You shower off before and after. The tub is specifically for relaxation. And normally, near the end of the day, everyone in a home or an apartment or a shared living space, they get a turn, normally 10 or 15 minutes per person. And that time is highly treasured. It is not something a person will skip if their life is too busy that day, because the importance of that time is just so obvious. Think about it. Think about being around other people all day with practically no exception, and then you get 10 minutes alone in relaxing hot water, and all of your work and distractions can wait a lousy 15 minutes. I'm impressed by that, and maybe a little bit jealous, but I think it's a clever way that country has met a common need, because that would never work here in America, everyone getting their own hot tub. And even if we did make it work, it wouldn't help us. Because the problem with Japan is space. We don't have that problem. We have space galore. If you need space, walk 15 feet in any direction. You'll be fine. For us, the problem is time. We eat up our time with responsibilities and activities, and sometimes there's not a scrap left for ourselves. And that's when we can learn from Mary. From this reading, stop for a minute and let ourselves get lost in thought. I say it again. We are meant to think things through and to pray over the moments of our lives. And I mean the big moments as well as the little moments, because insight and inspiration can come from anywhere. Minor conversation at the coffee shop, even a decent movie. Whatever the origin, the act of pondering those things in your heart will lead to wisdom and understanding. It brings us closer to Christ. And we will indeed follow in the very footsteps of Mary, Mother of God.